NSH merging with Spire Global. So this is a provider of space-based data and analytics. They operate with a software as a service model in space. So a constellation of over 100 satellites. Deal values the company at $1.6 billion, $245 million pipe from Tiger Global, BlackRock, Hedosophia, and Barry Sternlicht's Jaws. The current shareholders will own 14% of that new company after the merger goes through. So 150 plus customers, revenue growth of 104%. They see revenue growing 100% annually from 2020 to 2025. Qualcomm is an investor in the company, which is pretty notable. Current customers are Ariane Super, NASA, the U.S. Air Force, and Chevron. They see a total addressable market size of $180 to $300 billion. Target areas of orbital, weather, aviation, and maritime. So their satellites design total launch time 3 to 6 months versus their competitors 12-month time. So they are fast, scalable, and reliable access to space at a fraction of the cost and time of their competition. Their growth currently consists of investing in sales, marketing, and product development, expanding to new areas in which they specifically mentioned Latin America and the Middle East in the investor deck, expand their proprietary data set, the SpineSight analytics engines, and possible mergers and acquisitions. So again, recurring revenue, they see growing over 100%. So $36 million in fiscal 2020, $70 million in 2021, $1.2 billion in 2025. So they have an average contract length of 21 months and an average recurring revenue of $235,000 per customer. So again, that was NSH, Spire Global, software as a service in space. And then our big deal this morning, we have ticker VACQ. This is Rocket Lab going public. Rocket Lab, one of the big space rocket companies out there. So this deal is valuing the company at over $4 billion. It's expected to fund the development of their reusable neutron launch vehicle, targeting mega constellations, deep space missions, and human spaceflight. Oversubscribed $470 million pipe from 39 investors. Current shareholders of Vector Acquisition Corp, VACQ, will own 7% of the company after the merger. So Rocket Lab is one of only 2 U.S. commercial companies delivering regular access to orbit. The other one, of course, being SpaceX, one of the most talked about space companies out there, co-founded by Elon Musk, the head of Tesla. So over the last 6 years, Rocket Lab has completed 18 launches to space. Their first successful launch coming in 2018. They've also deployed 97 satellites for government and private companies across 16 missions. So they're the second most frequently used U.S. orbital launch company, only behind SpaceX, and globally they rank 4th. Space market, they estimate at $1.4 trillion by the year 2030. They see it worth $350 billion today. So missions are already booked for Rocket Lab for the moon in 2021, Venus in 2023, and Mars in 2024. So how interesting that as an investor, you can invest in a company planning to launch to the moon, Venus to explore for the search of life, and Mars to study the planet's atmosphere in 2024. Rocket Lab also recovered one of their rockets, so they're working on that reusable rocket program that SpaceX has gotten so much notoriety for. They have the only reusable small launch vehicle, the first 3D printed rocket engine, and the first rocket that converts to a satellite on orbit. So in 2021, they will employ Electron and Photon to launch a satellite to lunar orbit for NASA. This will serve as part of NASA's Artemis program to return humans to the lunar surface. So Rocket Lab is going to have over 132 launch slots every year. Current pipeline of $2.2 billion in deals, including $1.2 billion for launch-related revenue. That backlog represents 90% of their fiscal 2021 projected revenue.